Hello everyone, welcome to Study Automation. As a developer, you have must heard about AWS, Amazon Web Service. So in this tutorial, I'll show you what exactly AWS is and where we use AWS. So I will go through each and every most of the tools or services available for AWS in coming videos. As of now, just we can see the basic thing about AWS and what all services that as a developer we use. So here we have few things, which is first one is compute, storage, database, networking, analytics, machine learning, security, identity, compliance, management and governance. So if you will see, for each different purposes we have different set of AWS services available. So if we talk about compute, we have for compute engine we have EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Then we have ECS, Amazon Elastic Container Service. We have Lambda, which is serverless computer. So if we talk about EC2, it provides on-demand virtual servers for cloud. Suppose if you have some application which is running on some servers, you want to migrate it to AWS, you have option, you can choose EC2. It will provide you machine, right? It's a virtual machine, but you have privilege to choose whether you want to go with Windows or Linux or Unix or any different kind of operating system, and it's a virtual and on demand. So memory and other hardware issue you will not face once you move to EC2. Then we have ECS, which manages Docker container and orchestrate container service. If you deploy your application, let's say you have created your application in Node.js or Spring Boot and you want to deploy that, then you can choose ECS service to deploy your application, to make it available and scale automatically. In that case, you should choose ECS. Then we have AWS Lambda. So Lambda is serverless compute service that basically helps you to run your code without managing server, provisioning network and any other thing. Just you can put your code, it will run and give you output. Now it's up to you whether you want to store the output to another service, which is a storage service, which is AWS S3, or if you want to store in EBS or EFS, it's your choice. But the thing is, you don't need to install separate server in case of AWS Lambda. Similarly, we have next service which is for storage, and that is S3. It's a more popular, it's saying Amazon Simple Storage Service. This is object storage service for storing and retrieving any amount of data from archives to frequent access. So as a developer, once we work with application, we mostly store here project, right? Let's say if you are a front-end developer, then your application might be available in S3, and then that S3 is invoked from other services. We can store here image, files, videos, any kind of data inside S3. Then we have Elastic Block Storage. So EBS, block store, used for EC2 instance. So once you run with EC2 and whatever data generates from EC2, you can store to EBS. Then we have file system. So for file system we use EFS. If we talk about database, we have RDS, Amazon Relational Database Service. This is a managed relational database service that support various popular databases, right? So in RDS you can choose Oracle, MySQL or any different kind of relational database which is available under RDS. Then we have DynamoDB. This is a NoSQL database service, and basically we use DynamoDB where you need high performance, right, and scalability thing. But suppose if you have more filtering, pagination, right, In that case, we don't use Dynamo. Dynamo is kind of, you can say, where you need any data which is frequent and scalable. In that case, we use DynamoDB. We have then Dynamo Amazon Aurora, which is a MySQL and PostgreSQL compatibility relational database. So it's scale automatically, and you don't need to manage any other thing. It's already available inside this Aurora. So next thing is for networking and content delivery. For networking, we use VPC, which is virtual private cloud. Enables you to create logical isolated server, right? Isolated network within a AWS cloud. So you can create public VPC, you can create private VPC. So whatever services you will use inside that VPC will be used only in that one. Other person or apart from that VPC, you can't access directly. You have to create bridge and then you will be able to access. Similarly, we have Route 53, which is basically domain name service for the web services. So in basically Route 53, we define our domains for the application, and that can be used directly. Then we have CloudFront, which is content delivery service for securely delivering contents to users with low latency and high transfer speed. So we will see these all services using our demo. For analytics, we have Redshift, Kinesis, QuickSight. These all are business intelligence and data warehousing related services. We have in AWS, you can find machine learning related things as also. Amazon SageMaker, we have recognition, transcribe, so a speech to text service, which is transcribe, image and video analysis service. For that we have recognition. Then we have built-in platform for training, deploying machine learning model. We have SageMaker. And then for security compliance, we use IAM, which is very important. If you create users, you have to create inside IAM, identity and access management. We have KMS, key management service, to store encryption key. So suppose in your application you have used database, and to connect database we need username and password. So basically where you will store password. So mostly we store password in KMS, and we only provide key to our application, and it automatically get the value from the KMS. Then we have STS, security token service. Then we have this one is to store your tokens, credential temporarily. And then we have governance related things, which is AWS CloudFormation, CloudTrail, config. So in CloudTrail we store mostly logs of API. Whenever you use any API, that API log will be available in CloudTrail. Config is to configure your AWS resources, and CloudFormation is a service which is basically managing and provisioning AWS resources. So you can write here AWS formation script and run it. It will automatically create whatever services you need. So CloudFormation is also very important. We will see that. So these are few lists which is needed as a developer also to learn about these things. So let's go here and see how we can log into AWS console. So basically you have to just search AWS console, and you will see first link. Just open it. After that you have to either click to sign in, or if you don't have account you can just click on it. Alright, so it's already logged in. Let me just sign out. So basically you have to click on login, and then it will ask you if you are a root user or IAM user. So initially, first time once you create account, you have to create account. Suppose if you are new, right, then in this case you should click on create new account. new AWS account. Just click here, and then you just need to write root user ID, then account name, any name you can just provide, verify and follow few steps, right? It will create free tier AWS account, right? So if you see here aws.amazon.com free, it will give you what all services is free for you, and few services are paid services as well. So always better to check first here in free services, and then you can see what all things is free, right? So here is saying 3 types of offer. One is free trial, then 12 months free, and always free. So if you see here always free, let me show you. So these all services are available here. So if I'll say here type always free, I'll just click here, and right, so once you tick always free, it's saying that AWS DynamoDB is always free, right, of 25 GB. So you can use DynamoDB up to 25 GB of a storage, and for that there is no charge. Similarly, we have compute service, which is AWS Lambda. This is 1 million free request per month you will get, and this is completely free. But if this limit is exceed, then it will charge, you have to pay for that. Then we have AWS SNS service. It's basically messaging service, and it's saying 1 million SNS service is free completely. Then we have CloudWatch, which is 10 custom metrics and alarm you can create. We have AWS CloudFront, 1 TB of data is free. We have Cognito. It's basically simple and secure SSO things, right? Single sign-in, user sign-up control, which is 5,000 each month. Login free each month. Then we have SQS. It's also a secure messaging service, 1 million. Then we have SWF. Then we have developer tool Code Build. So basically Code Build is where this is used for building and deploying your code to some environment. So for that it's saying 100 minutes of build free completely, and you will see, right, we have complete list of services: AWS Code Commit, AWS Code Pipeline, right? So Code Commit is basically, you can say, it's a GitHub inside AWS. So this is saying 5 active user per month is free. Code Pipeline, 1 active pipeline per month is free. Then we have database, AWS database migration service. This one is used to migrate your on-prem database to AWS. We have Glue, AWS Glue. Then KMS, which is, it's saying 20,000 requests per month free. And management tool. So license management tool is unlimited times, it's completely free. We have a step function where you create workflow and all, that is also 4,000 state transaction per month. And then we have a storage gateway. We have well architecture is completely free. So if you will just go and see, right, you will see here we have a number of things, right? Code artifact, we have code trial, right? So these all are completely free, but there are few services which is only for 12 months. So that is EC2. It's saying that Amazon EC2 is 750 hours per month is free, and free tier, right, where free tier is free only for 12 months. Similarly, we have S3, which is also free for 12 months, and you can use maximum 5 GB storage. Similarly, we have RDS, where you can use database like MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB, SQL Server. So these all are free for 750 hours, and it's for 12 months. So you can see we have a number of things available here also, and few trials also available. You just wanted to try something, you can just draw. For example, we have machine learning, it's a trial. SageMaker, right? If you want to develop some machine learning model, then you can use SageMaker, and it's free for 2 months only. And these all are things that you can try. Redshift, AppStream, right? So AppStream is basically desktop service, virtual desktop service. We have Lightshell, Inspector. These all are free trials that you can try here. So based on your use, you can just try from this. But keep in mind that if you use any services, right, after using, just terminate that service, else it will give you long list of payment that you have to make. So now let's log in here, create account and login. So I'll just click on sign in to existing account, and then initially you can log in with root user. So I'll log in with my root user, give your username, password. It will ask you to verify one time, and then you will be logged into your AWS console. So this is called console screen. In this console screen, you will see here usage, right, and the cost and usage, all the things will show here. Even if you want, you can just click on go billing and cost management and see that here we have few services which is available to explore and other tutorials. So now if you click on services, you will see that here we have all the list of services available. So for example, if you just click on compute, so you will see all the compute related services available. AWS App Runner, Batch, EC2, Elastic, Lambda, right? All these things. Mostly we use EC2 or Lambda. So you can just click on EC2, and then so either you can search from there, or you can just directly type EC2 as well. So once you will go to EC2, you will see here all the menus and options for EC2. Right? We will create here instance and all. So if you will say instance, now we don't have any instance right now. I'll just click here launch instance, right? Then from here I can just give my server name, and then it will ask us to choose system, right? So whether I want Linux or Windows, right? So these things are available. Also you have to verify whether it's free or not. So for example, here it's saying free eligible tier. So this one is free, this is also free eligible tier, right? But suppose if you choose this one, right? So here it's not saying anything about free. That means you have to pay for it, and it will generate bill in next month. So always remember, whenever you are using any service, just go first and check in this one whether it's free or not, right? So you can just search here EC2, enter. So here it's saying for EC2, Amazon EC2, it's free for 12 months, Compute Engine, and here you can say Linux, REHL, and these three, right? T2 micro and T3 micro instance is free, 750 hours. For Windows, it's saying Windows T2 micro and T3 micro. So that thing also you have to keep in mind. Suppose if you have selected here, then also you have to check what all things we are trying to use here. So it will ask us in next one. So if you see, we have selected here free tier. In the next one, it's saying instance type. So now instance type T2, right? T2 is only So if you see, right, T2 micro is free. T2 micro is free. By default it will select free one only, but if you want to change, you can change any other thing, right? So I have selected here instance type, although if you will see, right, window, I have selected free version, AMI, right, Amazon Machine Image is free, but the thing is instance type I selected is paid. So for this also we have to pay. So make sure you are selecting type tier eligible, right, free tier eligible, and then this is key pair, right? So where basically you can create any key pair to log in, or you can just put here any name. This one will store in KMS, and then we have network, right? So these things are fine. You can put anything here, and then it will create your system. Similarly, you can choose Linux operating system from here. I'll just click here, name, and I'll just say Linux. It's saying free tier, which is okay. I'll choose 64-bit. Then it's saying T2 micro free, which is, I'll use this one, right, free version. And then KMS and next other things, right? So we'll see these all things. Similarly, you can see here we have other services. For example, if you'll go here in S3 at a storage service, and in a storage service you can directly type here also. If you know, click here S3. It's this one is used to store any file, any kind of data. So once you log in, we can see here we have buckets, and S3 is, you know, global service. So once you log in, once you select anything, right, you can see it's selecting here global. That means you can add any file here inside S3, and that S3 can be accessible from all other time zone, other zones, right? You can see, so different zones available. So it will be regions and zones, right? It will be available there. But if I just go here EC2, and as soon as you will go to EC2, here you will see that it selected some regions, right? It's saying US East, right, East 1. So that means if you create server in US East 1, and then again you can go to another zone, then in that zone you will not be able to access that particular EC2, right? You have to create separate machine in that zone itself. So we'll see these all things in next video. I'll explain how to install AWS CLI and how to work with that CLI, and then we will see AWS SDK. Thank you so much for watching the video.